So I want to show you this Truth Social tweet that Donald J. Trump put out, and it is in regards to Vladimir Putin and the strike last night that ended the lives of more innocent Ukrainians and soldiers. So this is the tweet on Truth Social as you see it right now. He says, I am not happy with the Russian strikes on Kiev. Not necessary and very bad timing, as if it's ever good timing to end the lives of innocent people. He says, Vladimir, stop! Exclamation point. 5,000 soldiers a week are dying. Let's get the peace deal done. Hey, Vladdy, stop! Very strong words there by the President of the United States. And again, that was his secret plan all along, just telling Putin to stop. I'm sure Vladimir Putin will listen. Just stop. Just knock it off, as my producer says. That works, right? It's kind of like you have a young child and they're begging for candy. Stop! Slap on the wrist. Great job, Donnie. So, Donald Trump just held a press conference in the last hour. And I want to play you clips of the press conference, some of questions about that very tweet. So a reporter asks Donald Trump, why are you not putting more pressure on Russia? You know, he's not putting any pressure on Russia, obviously, because there was a peace deal that was put in place, and Zelensky last month was going to sign on the dotted line. And then what does Vladimir Putin do? More airstrikes that kill innocent people. So listen to this exchange, which happened within the hour, where a reporter asked him, why are you not putting more pressure on Russia? Listen to this.
Why are you not putting more pressure on Russia? I know a lot of Europeans.
Putting a lot of pressure. You don't know what pressure I'm putting on Russia. They're dealing. You have no idea what pressure I'm putting on Russia. We're putting a lot of pressure.
Can you maybe tell us?
We're putting a lot of pressure on Russia, and Russia knows that, and some people that are close to it know, or he wouldn't be talking right now. The Prime Minister understands that better than anybody. He wouldn't be talking right now. He's talking, and we're putting a lot of pressure. I think he wants to make a deal. We're going to find out very soon, but it takes two to tango, and you have to have Ukraine want to make a deal too, and they're being hit very hard, and I do believe they want to make a deal.
Oh, you do? So, Mr. President, Zelensky was ready to sign on the dotted line for this ceasefire, and then within 24 hours, Putin had these airstrikes and another strike last night. So if you are putting pressure on him, which, by the way, you're not, I don't believe that for a second. But if you were putting pressure on him, it's obviously not working. The art of the deal apparently isn't working because we just had more strikes in Ukraine yesterday. More innocent people have lost their lives. So obviously he's lying. And at a minimum, if he's saying he's putting pressure on Putin, it's clearly not enough because Putin is doing what he's been doing for a very long time now. And that's executing strikes on Ukraine and innocent people losing their lives. So when he says, you don't know what pressure we're putting on Putin. No, we don't. We don't. And certainly it's not working. Whatever pressure you are putting on him, it isn't working. So that's a lie. And you notice how he always says it takes two to tango? What the hell is that supposed to mean? Zelensky was ready to sign on the dotted line. You said this war would be over in 24 hours. You orange orangutan fool you. And then Donald Trump is stand firm to believe that he would be totally okay with Vladimir Putin taking over large chunks of Ukraine. Now, obviously, Zelensky should not agree to that deal. That's absurd. You don't reward an evil dictator from invading another country and giving them land that doesn't belong to them. That's absurd. So Donald Trump was asked by a reporter this morning, do you still agree that Ukraine has to give up some territory? And listen to the pathetic excuse and the pathetic president of the United States that we have in the Oval Office today. Have a listen to this.
You said that the Ukraine have to give some territory to win peace, among them Crimea. Do you stand by that? And I know that the former NATO General Secretary today has told you that he does not agree and he believes in territorial integrity of the Ukraine. How do you deal with that with your allies? And do you stand by that Ukraine have to give?
Former Secretary General happens to be right here, you know, so they can't put words in his mouth. He's been a great general, frankly. It was because that's what you are. Really, you're a general. But he's been a great Secretary General. We had a tremendous relationship, very successful. And I think he could speak for himself. He's right here.
But do you still agree that Ukraine have to give some territory away to win peace?
Well, it depends what territory. They've been fighting. They've lost a lot of territory. And we'll do the best we can, working with Ukraine. We'll do the best we can. But they lost a lot of territory. When you say Crimea, that was handed over during a president named Barack Hussein Obama. That had nothing to do with me, Crimea. That was 11 years ago with Obama. And they made a decision. There wasn't a bullet fired. There was no fighting. There was no anything. They just handed it over. Now they say, well, can you get it back? I think that's going to be a very difficult thing to do. That was given by Barack Obama when he was president, not by Donald Trump.
There you go. Blaming Barack Obama, blaming Joe Biden, blaming Democrats when you're the idiot that said the war would be over in 24 hours. You're the moron who campaigned on that among all of your other lies. What happened? Now all of a sudden it's so complex. Why won't you criticize Vladimir Putin for anything? All you've said is stop it. You've called Zelensky a dictator. You've said Ukraine started this war, which obviously they didn't. And now all of a sudden you're saying, Putin, stop it, knock it off, as if that would work with an evil dictator in another country who invaded our allies. You orange orangutan fool, you. And this is the most important, in my opinion, part of this press conference earlier today. Because I've been saying this time and time again, what's Russia giving up? What concessions is Russia giving up? Vladimir Putin is the one that decided to invade our allies. So what is Russia willing to give up? Donald Trump has asked that question again today. And you want to talk about the most embarrassing and pathetic response on a world stage? Listen to this.
Putting a lot of pressure on both. You know, if you think we're just in there because we're nice people, and we are nice people, but we're using a lot of pressure on both.
What concessions, Mr. President, and to your national security team, what concessions has Russia offered up thus far to get to the point where you're closer to peace?
Stopping the war, taking the whole country. Pretty big concession.
So that's the concession. Trump campaigned on ending Russia's war in Ukraine in 24 hours, even before he entered office. Now he is literally publicly begging Vladimir Putin to stop. It's an embarrassment. It's a joke. And he looks weak, as he always does, as he puts on his 8 layers of orange makeup, his girdle, his 4 fake hair transplants, his fake teeth, his fake tan. He is weak. He blames everybody else but himself. He blames Barack Obama. He blames Joe Biden for all of his problems. And he is not doing what he said he was going to do. So much for the art of the deal. It's embarrassing and it's a joke. And it was just a few days ago, once again, where Donald Trump was literally blaming Vladimir Zelensky and Joe Biden. Now, he did it a little bit again today, but listen to what he had to say about this just a few days ago.
Because, as you know, Russia's a lot bigger. It's a bigger military force. And if you're smart, you don't get involved in wars that you can blame the man that was sitting in this seat. Biden, he didn't know what the hell was going on. But I can guarantee you that, and everybody agrees to it, if I were president, that war would have never taken place. I'm not blaming him. But what I am saying is that I wouldn't say he's done the greatest job. Okay? I'm not a big fan. I really am. I'm not a big fan.
Interesting. So blame the war on Joe Biden and then say, well, I'm not necessarily blaming him. Blame Zelensky. But what about all the things that happened under Donald Trump? We had something called COVID. So imagine if Joe Biden said when he took office, COVID would have never happened under me. It happened under Donald Trump. I mean, in essence, that's what Donald Trump is doing. And he made some more false promises. I remind all of you again, Donald Trump said, quote, on Truth Social, I am not happy with the Russian strikes. He's not happy. That's something you say to your spouse, right? If they come home late for dinner. I'm not happy with you, dear. I had dinner ready for you. I'm not happy with you. You don't say you're not happy with somebody when they end the lives of a bunch of innocent people when you're trying to put a peace deal together with our allies. But he's not happy with Vladdy. He said it wasn't necessary and very bad timing, as if any timing would be good timing for this. And then he calls him Vladimir and he says, stop. Very scary stuff here. And the president of the United States, the orange orangutan himself, the draft dodger, and the woman abuser is embarrassing us on the national stage once again. It's disgusting, it's pathetic, and it's par for the course.